Go live. We are live.
Good morning to you, Clout Route crew. Hope you have your coffee ready.
I do. It's black.
Ooh.
I might need more. I was like, okay. I drank a cup this morning, as I always do. And then I started my second cup like right before the show, and it's already like this. And I want more. I'm an addict. I'm like, I need another cup for the show.
Dude, that second half is going to be high energy because I'll be getting my second cup of coffee. You'll be getting your third. It'll be nuts. It'll be like a Robin Williams stand-up set, you know, just a couple of dudes sweating up here, firing off one-liners.
You know, speaking of Robin Williams, I saw, who was I watching this morning? Have you ever watched Red Letter Media? You like them?
Yes. It's been a while, but yes. Good content over there. Good morning, gentlemen. And K-Huck, good morning.
Morning, everybody.
Hey, thank you, K-Huck. Shout out for having us on Thursday night. That was an excellent time we had on the podcast.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you.
Go check it out if you haven't. K-Huck's, K-Huck Cast on YouTube. Go check it out. We're over there interviewing with her for like 3 hours. Right? It was a pretty long one. Dude, I have to admit, I maybe bit off a little more than I could chew. I even napped. Like, I napped for a while earlier that day. And I tell you what, by the end of that, well, I also was drinking a couple beers while we were live. while we were doing it. So, like, and I don't ever really drink that often. So, only when we do, really, the only time I drink is when we do like later, like evening stuff. Like if we stream in the evening, or if we record in the evening, or K-Huck stream was a perfect opportunity for me to drink a couple beers.
Snap a few off. Hey, I get it. That's what I'll be doing during our NFL draft stream. Have a couple of those vodka mules ready to go.
Right on.
You know it.
But yeah, no, I was feeling it the next day. I was like, God damn, dude. I stayed up way too late last night. What the fuck? And yeah, it's like, what time did we get off? Like 11 o'clock?
Yeah, it was around then. Ooh, that's got to be tough. As if you need any more motivation to not be motivated on a Friday. You know, then you're kind of hungover, but you got such little sleep that it could just be that you're really tired. You don't even really know if you're hungover. You're just like, why am I so old? I used to do this 4 nights out of the week, you know? I used to do this for days in a row before I'd need to take a day off. What a degenerate.
And there was a point in time in my life. There was a point in time in my life, too, where I preferred to be up at night. Like, I'd rather have been up and awake and doing stuff at night than during the day. But it's just, I mean, you get old, I guess. It is what it is. So, K-Huck, it's not your fault at all that that I'm old. I'm just old.
Got to get back in that rhythm. What do they call it? The circadian rhythm. It's weird. It's like, why would you want to sleep on a bug's sleep cycle? But hey, I'm not a scientist.
Circadian. Ugh, those things are gross.
Circadian. No. I told you there would be more Phil Collins jokes on this show. I told you.
Yeah, okay.
Always be ready.
Cool it, Kevin. Okay, you get too close to that one of those Phil Collins songs, and we might get like copyright struck or something. You know?
Ooh, that would be a dream come true for me. Hey, don't forget to watch the videos. All right, that was just a plug. Find out where I made the other Phil Collins reference.
Right. All right, well, welcome in, everybody. It's one of those mornings. It's gonna be a slow start for me.
Ooh, I got you.
Black energy. I mean, the black energy, the black coffee energy will flow into me soon. The black energy will flow into me soon.
Exactly.
Oh boy. But thank you all for being here so far this morning. V-Dub, Sleek, K-Huck, anyone creeping around, we love to see ya.
We love our lurkers, okay?
Lurk
Some
away,
people
people.
don't like the lurkers. They say, "Hey, why aren't you in the chat?" I say, "It's okay. We love our lurkers."
Oh goodness, you're starting it early today, Kevin. By the end of the show, you're going to be very refined in your impression there. Really, no, there's not very many opportunities today. Well, one opportunity maybe today for you to appropriately do your impression. So like, don't like exhaust all of your Trump energy. Yeah, because there is one I need you for. Okay.
Heard. Keep it ready.
But yeah, we've got Tommy in it in that dream. These dingles, this is one of these where Kevin says like, God, dude, how many times do we have to talk about these idiots? And I feel the same way. Like these kids, like the dream guy and the Tommy dude are like younger enough. Like they're like 20, like early 20s or whatever the fuck. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but they're definitely younger than me. They're in their 20s and it's like separated enough in age where I'm not interested in what the fuck they're doing at all. But some of the drama ensues and I thought, well, it's kind of funny actually to look at these fucking idiots. But anyways, we'll get to some Tommy in it and Dream at one point. God, how fucking British can you be?
With the in it?
Yeah, like what? Your username?
Might as well be Tommy Bruv.
That's actually better. I like that. I prefer that.
Yeah, you know what? Come to think of it.
V-Dub says a coffee brand coffee. No.
Ooh.
No, it's Danny brand black coffee. That's what it is.
There's going to be some great deals, I imagine, when their liquidation sale. Everything must go.
Well, yeah, I'll have to hit Jeremy up, dude. Get a stockpile before it all goes. Anyways, in it something because we got Tommy in it, and then we got Russell Brand, another Russell in it. Okay, in it. Oi, bruv, what's going on over there across the water? Okay, across the pond. We got some fuckos over there. Tommy in it, obviously, but then Russell Brand has really got himself into some shit. What a fucking disgusting freak. We'll get into all of that.
I feel shocked.
Karl Jobst and that guy that his name sounds like a porn star or something, Billy Mitchell.
That or somebody, an infomercial salesman.
Right. Maybe that's
Billy Mitchell here.
Maybe that's what it is. Because pre-show, I was telling Kevin, I was like, I've heard this dude's name so much, like fucking Billy Mitchell, but why? Like, why do I know who the fuck this guy is? And I feel like I've been hearing about him for years, but maybe Mays, maybe Billy Mays and Billy Mitchell wires are getting crossed in my old brain. And that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know. We'll see. We'll get
as long as you don't mix him up with Vince from ShamWow, because that guy has a bit of a past. We'll just say, maybe even a record.
A bit of a past that he could only hope to clean up with a ShamWow, right?
That's right. The King of Kong. That's where he's from. Oh boy. Also, we should note that everything we will say in this show has not yet been approved by our lawyers.
It's alleged. Everything.
Everything's alleged.
Do we have a
joke?
Do we have a? Do you have one of those things? You have like a trigger warning in the bottom left. Like a disavow would be good enough, I guess. We'll have to hit that disavow a lot.
Yes, I will. You know what? We'll do both.
Okay.
Everybody be ready.
Disavow.
And then we're going to disavow this. And you know what? Just to get ahead of the game on a couple of things, just so if anyone needs to know my position.
Kevin's doubting everything that's about to happen too.
Oh, Billy.
Billy. Oh, Billy.
Billy Baroo.
Twitch also under fire. Okay. Getting themselves into some shit. We've got some YouTuber lawyers involved. That's how you know it's serious. Okay. Once the YouTuber lawyers throw their hat in the ring, dude, you know it's on. Because
It's a fire sale.
They can't embarrass themselves. They have a whole platform, you know? What are they going to do? What's the YouTube lawyer to do if he loses? You know, he's done. So, you know, if a YouTube lawyer is getting involved, he's putting his entire career at stake, okay?
Yeah, it's all in now. It's going to be a few good men moment.
I can't wait to see what they have to say about Twitch. Wouldn't it be a shame if some of those people over at Twitch got in some trouble? That'd be a big shame.
There's no way anybody's breaking any laws over at Twitch. No way. Exit out, gang.
Exit out. Kevin's always on the exit out. Okay. So
Yeah,
see if you exit out this, Kevin.
Out of the courtroom.
Opening for us today. You remember this Adam 22 guy? No jumper. The porn star with his porn star wife. They have a podcast where they invite on porn stars and they bang them together. Mm-hmm. An interesting life, I have to admit. It wouldn't be one that I would want to participate in. I think that I don't know. I have self-esteem issues.
So you got a little stage fright there, Danny?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. You know, there's only two in my bedroom. Okay. But Adam 22 and the No Jumper show, they're done. They're fucked, Kevin. Okay. And not fucked in that kind of way, but fucked in the like, oh shucks sense, not like the on their podcast sense. Okay.
Yeah, he's probably fucked in a lot of ways. Allegedly.
Adam 22 has announced that No Jumper is going broke after a former employee filed a lawsuit. He has now enacted company layoffs and plans to sell the current studio. Okay. So I always heard that there's no short of money to make in the porn industry. So honestly, I thought that his whole shtick, like the porn star podcast thing, and they also bang on it too, I guess. So like if you're a gooner, you can go watch the after show where they bang each other, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how it works. Maybe the only way you can watch the show is amongst the banging. I've never watched.
They're interviewing each other during.
No, because I know that he has a show where he does it with his wife, that Lena the Plug lady. And then that's the one where they have porn stars on and they bang. But then he also has the other show where it's like a regular interview show, the No Jumper show or whatever, with a table in the middle and there's somebody on the other side. He's had like Airsoft Fatty on and people like that. Can you believe?
Yeah, it started as
Airsoft Fatty on.
I honestly can, because Andy Milonakis has been on, and I feel like that is a smooth transition into getting into the lolcow of it all. This was a guy who's always been farming for viral clips.
Oh shit!
Once he learned that that's what he was doing, that's what was working for him, it's always been about. It went from really being just him interviewing underground rappers because he was friends with underground rappers to it blew up a little bit, and seems like they really overplayed their hand. What a genius idea, Danny, to say, hey, we're having all of this success because we're a podcast during a time when everyone's stuck at home. Let's buy a new brick and mortar and just really pump a bunch of money into this thing right at the end of the pandemic, right? Was it 2021? They start doing all this stuff like right as the world's about to be released from quarantine and be like, oh shit, well, we spent all that money at just the wrong time. Did they really think that was gonna stay like that forever? Interesting. I'm not surprised, let's just say, that the guy who made all his money just interviewing famous people, some of them naked, I'm not surprised that he didn't have a 5-year plan put in place that was going to work. What I was surprised by, Danny, a little bit was the feedback to his big announcement, but I don't want to bury the lead. It's just been funny, the number of Adam 22 videos I've seen on my YouTube algorithm these last 4 days.
What? So are like people trying to cancel him? This is something I'm not aware of.
No, everyone's just basically reposting his video with their own commentary and having a good laugh.
This is what I enjoy. Stuff like lock the fucking whore your family needs you. Oh, I saw somebody on Twitter retweet this or post that after his news, and I'm like, that is so funny, dude. Yeah, she's gonna have to do the whole. She's gonna have to do the whole literally.
Well, yeah, a few times.
But she's gonna have to do what that one viral lady's doing, and like see how many people she can bang in like the span of 24 hours or whatever, or like I don't know. They're gonna have to do something. How many fists can she fit in there?
How much more can they do? Didn't they have a game show where they were interviewing for a third dude or a second dude for their Eiffel Tower?
And oh God, really?
It was, yeah.
I can't remember this either.
Yeah, dude, they did. I don't know what platform it was on. I would just see clips of it on Twitter and just be like, what in the God's name is this? The most degenerate shit I've ever seen. Half the dudes, it sounds like, it didn't really do an interview. They just walked up to the judge's table and whipped it out. And it was just like, bro, what is this? I will watch a second season, though, if they get that guy from the Spanish Temptation Island who's like, por favor, you know, the one who was screaming at the beach during the thunderstorm. I want to see that guy apply for season 2 of Lena Gets Plugged or whatever the hell that show was called.
Lena Gets Plugged. I mean, no wonder they're fucked, dude.
Hey, there's a reason I don't name these episodes, all right?
Oh, Christ, dude.
Not good at naming stuff.
If Adam 22 becomes any more of a lol cow, he will be on Keem's show, V-Dub says. I mean, maybe they should do that.
Oh,
They've got some talent over there. They could have like lol cow porn stars or something for real, or like lol cow playboys. They get Adam 22 to host it. What's her name? The Madhouse lady, Bunny. She's a corn star.
Oh, okay.
Get her.
Okay, well, there we go. Smooth transition.
Around. Okay, you can. Billy the fridge can easily transition into a woman. No.
Did they get rid of mafia milkers? Because that could be a good opportunity to bring milkers back.
Okay, they could call it that maybe.
That's what I'm saying. Bring the name back. Yeah.
Billy the Fridge is already like a porno name, you know. It's just a fat guy. If that's your kink, you know.
It really is. It's a name that fits either porn or wrestling, which you might be surprised how often that overlaps.
Or rapper.
Venn diagram between porno name and wrestler name or rapper name. Yeah, you get that one in there.
Right.
You have a lot of fun.
Oh, well, there you go. Adam 22, bankrupt. They better get to work. Got lots of cornos to make if they want to keep that ship afloat. Let's see. What do I want to get into next? Let's do the Twitch thing. Get the Twitch thing out of the way. And then basically everything after the Twitch is drama.
Oh.
We're going to farm some drama. I guess the Twitch thing's also drama, right?
Drama.
Drama. We love drama.
We love the drama.
So listen to this weird shit. Okay, we've heard of all this weird Twitch stuff happening over the course of the past, I mean, I don't know, since Twitch existed, I guess. But like one of the more recent controversies was that whole Israel block that they had, where they like the whole country was essentially blocked from using Twitch and logging into their accounts and whatnot, and creating accounts. I think even it was a whole debacle with this whole country being blocked, and they're like, "Oh, we we didn't know. Oops."
They're trying to get foreign governments to not steal our secrets. You know, they'll learn a lot about America if they get access to those morgue pie streams.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. You can learn a lot in those chats, I bet.
So there's been controversy there. I mean, people always say that there's controversy with like anti-Semitism over there because of Dan Clancy's preference in streamers, I guess, is the, I mean, comboed with the Israel thing, and then, you know, they're very Hassan forward.
Oh,
they get a lot of criticism.
I thought the CEO was just a horn dog on Twitch.
There's that. He's horny too.
Okay, good.
That's another controversy where he pulls up his phone and scrolls through the Twitch channels he watches. It's all booby streamers.
All right, good.
You could go on and on.
No defamation here, gang. We're clear.
You could go on and on. There's tons of controversy over there with those folks. Recently, okay, it was discovered that they were charging users. Okay, so imagine they're charging. You have a subscription to Aiden Ross. Okay, Aiden Ross, your favorite streamer. Okay, you're dropping a $5 sub. Okay, Aiden gets banned because he says the N-word or whatever on stream. So Aiden's banned now. And you were subscribed. You were donating your $5 to him every month. Well, what happens to your $5 when he gets banned? Does Aiden still get this money? No. Do they stop? Do they cancel? Do they cancel your subscription because the person is banned? No.
Wow.
So what happens exactly? Twitch sucks that $5 buckaroonies right into their pockets, okay? Amazon's pockets. They don't cancel you if you are subscribed to a banned streamer. They let it go and they let it hang out, and people have figured it out, okay? And I was talking about the YouTube lawyers here. We'll see some of that, but let me bring up this Dexerto here. Twitch has been charging some users for subscriptions to perma-banned streamers. Dexerto spoke to multiple banned streamers, still receiving payments from subscribers, finding instances of this happening since 2022. Okay. Dexerto also learned that Twitch has a policy not explicitly stated in the terms. What's T&C? Terms and conditions, I guess. Yeah.
That's right.
In which subs to permaban streamers do not cancel right away, directly contradicting the platform's policies. Okay. So, again, people are being charged after their streamer has been perma banned. So if I take this down, what do you think, Kev?
I, for one, feel shocked to hear that a company owned by Jeff Bezos, our very own Lex Luthor, would just continue to take people's money for an item they are no longer receiving. I'm shocked. This hurts me to my core. I always believed that the billionaires had our best interest at heart. Man, just you hate to see it, man. You never, it's never the ones you expect, right? It's never the roided up dudes that wear medium-sized button-downs and divorce their wives and marry people 30 years younger than them. It's never, though, it's just never the dude you think, Danny. I never would have guessed this guy would be such a sleaze bag. Man.
So VDub says some streamers said they kept receiving payments after being banned. I don't know if it's all. So that's interesting. Because what I had heard about it was if you're like this specific instance, which is one I found that I thought was interesting. And this was involved with the YouTube lawyer that I was talking about. But I saw this one. Socks VR says, FYI, Twitch support, you guys banned my account on the 9th, and people are still having their subs auto renew. Pretty slimy. If you subscribed to my Twitch channel, please cancel and request a refund. Twitch is still charging all my subs even after banning me and keeping all the money. Okay. So I could be interpreting this wrong, but when I was reading this, I was thinking she's saying Twitch is keeping my money, not that she's keeping it, right? Twitch is still charging all my subs after banning me and keeping all the money. That's how I interpret it, right? That Twitch is not paying her for it. They're keeping it.
Yeah, not the best wording in a sentence I've ever seen, but yes, Danny, I believe you are correct.
So I think there's a mix of both, because VDub's probably correct that some people maybe are getting it and some people aren't. Okay. I guess both things can be true. I think it's more egregious to be taking the money themselves. So like if there is cases of the people still get their money, that's good. I mean, that's at least better, right? I don't think that people should be getting auto charged for perma-banned subscriptions, but if the money is still going to the streamer, then I guess that's better than this case that I'm hearing from this lady specifically, or this person. I guess I don't know if it's a lady or not, but
yeah, I think
if they're stealing the money, it's much worse.
Yeah, as long as you rob Peter to pay Paul, I think you can invoke Robin Hood clause, which is a lot like declaring bankruptcy, but different. So yeah, I mean it is slightly better. I will give you that. At least then the money's going to the creator that was banned, but still it's the consumer. Wouldn't you know it? How's that always happen, Danny? The consumer's out here getting bum rushed. All right,
we're getting fucked, just like Lena the Plug and Adam. They're out here fucking us like we have a porn podcast or something. Okay, what the fuck, Twitch?
We're not even on OnlyDans right now.
Exactly. That's different content. Okay. So here's Attorney Tom. Now, this Guy Rec Gaming underneath that he quote tweets, this is under the post of the person we were just looking at. Okay. So if I click here, you see that in response to this other post that we were just looking at, this guy says, I requested a refund for the auto sub to the channel being permanently banned and received an automatic reply refusing the refund. This is their policy and business practice, and if they deserve a class action lawsuit over it. The person who made the post says, "What? That's insane." Okay. Then go back here. This is what I was talking about with the YouTube lawyer, Attorney Tom, if you've ever heard of him. Attorney Tom says, wow, this problem is bigger than I thought. If any victims of this would like to speak to a lawyer about starting a potential class action, DM me. So potentially what could happen is that they find enough people that have experienced a situation where it might be two different lawsuits. I don't know how that works, but if there are people being charged for subs after people have been perma banned, and the other thing that we were talking about where the streamer isn't actually getting the money from those subs, it's going straight to Twitch, that might be two different lawsuits. And if they have enough people involved, that's how they do this class action thing. Attorney Tom wrangles some people that are getting charged for shit that they're not getting, and Twitch might be in some trouble.
That could suck in a lot of ways. So I'm just going to think out loud here for a few seconds.
I like that.
If Attorney Tom is successful in collecting a bunch of people for a class action lawsuit, what probably is going to happen, let's say they win or settle, all of those people will split what will probably amount to like $4.70
Right.
per head by the time they open it up to everybody. Twitch loses money, for which Bezos most likely says, all right, you're going to have to up the charge for a monthly subscription so we can make some of this money back. And this Tom guy gets a nice fee for having done his job as a lawyer, making at least like $150 an hour, I would assume. And meanwhile, the consumers who got fucked in the first place stay fucked. And also the ones who were subscribed to people who weren't banned are also now going to get fucked because the price just went up. Also that Tom here could eat. And maybe if Twitch weren't an Amazon company, I might think a little differently about this. It might really be oh wow, Twitch is in trouble. They might not survive this, but they have enough money to survive this. I believe there's enough there are enough other benefits to own a media company like Twitch where you would be willing to take the financial hit if you're someone again like Lex Luthor. But those are my thoughts there. It's just classic attorney, ambulance chasing attorney guy here. Sorry, Tom, if you are a stand-up guy, but it's like, oh yeah, let me get a class action suit together for all of you so that I can make a lot of money. You'll be just a year older, with maybe a fraction of your money returned to you. But I'll be sitting pretty, and Bezos, you'll just be a fly that he's swatting off.
That's what it's all about, Kevin. Okay, you got to make money for yourself out here. You got to fight for your own pocket. Okay. He sees an opportunity to jump on this cash flow, dude. Not only can he make like 10 videos on his channel about how fucked up this is, but then he can also go to court, sue Amazon for a bunch of money. I mean, it's all great for him. Think about it. There's these whole like, I don't know what you call them. Do you call them industrial complexes? Is that the word where it's
that's what Ike Eisenhower called it.
It's like these whole generating content things. Like Attorney Tom in this situation, like he's doing a lawsuit which generates the ability to like do content around it, right? So tons of people are making bunch of money off of like these lawsuits like that. I feel like it's the same thing with the Israel-Palestine conflict too. It's like this self-generating, like it just keeps making money for tons of people because no matter which way it goes, it's like people on both sides can continue to milk the drama and milk the war and milk the victims and all the bad things happening. They just keep making videos about it on YouTube and can keep making checks forever.
I would just like to point out that Danny is an above average swimmer. Every time I've spoken to him, he has given me no inclination that he is ready to take his own life. And he's also a very good driver. I've never known him to drive while impaired. So if and when that headline comes out, folks, investigate. Okay. I'm just saying. They get a little too close.
They're coming out to get me, huh?
Yeah, flying a little too close to the sun here, pal.
I don't know, though. I mean, yeah, it's just like we need to figure out one of these to get the content complex. Yeah, we need to figure out one of these to get involved with because, like Hash said, except for the people actually suffering. Yeah.
Yes.
I would feel too bad about milking the Israel-Palestine conflict and like making money off that, that's like people dying, a bunch of people dying. That one's a little too hard to just keep milking and keep making content. But like Attorney Tom is starting to get to the heart of like a clout route here that I can accept. He's starting lawsuits so that he can make more videos on YouTube about his lawsuits. And more lawsuits that he goes after and pursues, the more content he can make. I like that. It feels like there's not as many victims, at least in the whole process.
Could be a dangerous game though, Danny. This is a fitting topic right now, considering what we will talk about with the fridgeless Billy, as I will call him, because that's the thing, though. You make too much content around your lawsuit, you might get Karl Jobst to do.
Okay, interesting. Pivot. Let's do that. Let's roll with that. Okay, because that's basically the story there. We'll see how that unfolds if they actually go into a lawsuit there with Attorney Tom and some of the victims. But yeah, so rolling into the Karl Jobst versus Billy Mitchell lawsuit drama. Okay, I guess this lawsuit has been going on for a bit now, and it's finally come to a conclusion with the King of Kong on top, folks. Now you'll see as we go through this, one of the more interesting parts of this whole story, it to me at least, is how much like this is totally not what people expected. You know what I mean? Like Karl had convinced everyone basically that knew about this lawsuit going down. I feel like there was no one that knew about this lawsuit that thought that Karl was going to lose. Honestly, I think it was I was surprised to everyone. I mean, like, obviously there's some people that, I knew, but I think generally, not only was it a combination of, it was definitely a combination of like people hate this Billy Mitchell guy. So they were just willing to be like, yeah, he's going to lose. He's lost a bunch of lawsuits already, like tons, like everyone, I think. He's never won a lawsuit, I feel like, or they just get dismissed or like settled. So people hated him. He's always lost. And then Karl convinced them. I mean, he's doing video after video talking about this and saying like, Billy Mitchell keeps losing and Billy Mitchell sucks and Billy Mitchell doesn't make any sense and dunking on him. So like people were pretty convinced, I feel like, that there was no way he would lose this lawsuit. Were you?
Well, I mean, it's defamation is a hard lawsuit to win, but I will say, I feel like there are a few different fairy tales or little nursery rhymes. We've all been taught this lesson 100 times. It's in the, I almost said it's in the, I'm just going to say it's in the goddamned Bible, which I realize is a little bit of an issue there with that theory, but this is a David Goliath situation. This is rabbit and the hare, or wait, those are the same thing. This is tortoise and the hare. Much different. You can't get too ahead of yourself. This is dodgeball and underdog story. All right. This is Globo Gym versus Average Joe's.
Ooh,
and
okay.
When
now
you
you're speaking my language,
take your opponent seriously. Okay. Yes, there we go. This can happen to you. And also, again, a word to any clout routers in the audience who may find themselves being accused of defamation. Maybe during the lawsuit, don't make fun of the person who's suing you, essentially for saying mean things about them that are defaming them. Maybe just don't add that fuel to the fire, because at the end of the day, there's a judge and potentially a jury involved. These are individuals with opinions. This isn't some black and white situation when it comes to defamation. And you kind of hear that in the judge's response to some of the things, where it's like, damn, dude, like you gave this guy so much ammo against you, all because you thought there was no way he could win. But on the other hand, it's really kind of mind-boggling to see this being one of the instances where someone is successfully convicted, I guess, of defamation. It's notoriously one of the hardest things to win. It almost felt like throughout this that it was a money play, that Billy was just doing it to dry Karl up, because it's very expensive to be sued or to be in court at all. And so if we continue to run that back, face reveal, there it is.
Billy Mitchell is shadow humor, actually.
That makes a lot of sense. Some of those dweeb chats make a little more sense now.
Yeah, though. It says Karl Jobst has lost his defamation case with Billy Mitchell for failing to retract a statement connecting Mitchell to Apollo Legends sewer slide. Karl must pay damn near $400K in damages. Okay. For hundo. You know what this feels like to me too? Partly. This is okay, so I don't know if you're caught up with all the Ethan Klein drama lately. I will admit that I have not been covering some of the more petty shit that he's been doing on purpose. I just don't.
Sounds like he's on a Billy trip right now. I just
Well,
see a lot of thumbnails about I'm going to sue Hassan. Who else was he suing? There was somebody
that
else.
Noah Sampson guy.
Noah Sampson. Yeah.
And we were going to talk about that last week. I think we never got to it. But that whole situation kind of reminds me of this, okay? Because I feel like this is the situation he's setting up, okay? Where Ethan is this guy with the money, and then you've got the lefties that he's attacking. So like Noah Sampson, who he's trying to sue with Mudahar, or Hassan, even you could say. And Ethan is suing them because they're saying a bunch of crazy shit about him, okay? Kind of a similar situation. Billy Mitchell suing Karl Jobst for saying all this crazy shit about him, okay? And the attitude is kind of similar too, I feel like. That Karl Jobst is like the stand-in for these lefties like Noah Sampson or Hassan if that lawsuit ever happens. Where Karl Jobst was very much like, like he thinks he's gonna win. Well, he's lost every lawsuit, and he's an idiot. Why the fuck? I feel like it's the same energy with these lefties. These lefties are like, Ethan Klein's crazy and acting. His kids eat shit. There's no way that he's gonna win a lawsuit against us. Like, what an embarrassing idiot. Why would he even try?
Yeah, this stupid Satanist thinks he can beat me in law. And it's like, bro, stop saying things about him. Just stop talking about him.
That's what I think is going to happen to all of them. Because that Noah Sampson guy is still like, he's not making direct videos and shit anymore where he's saying like Ethan Klein is a fucking terrorist or whatever. But he's just like little Twitter comments or going in someone's video on YouTube and commenting in their commenting below their video and shit like that. He's like doing shit like that where I don't know if he thinks he's being sly or something, but just keep talking shit. He's suing you for talking shit, and you're gonna keep talking shit. You're gonna keep going. It's
full strategy. I love the strategy. Sleek brings up a good point here. Although VDub says it is difficult to win in another country's court, Sleek says due to the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case, he learned that Australia does not have the same anti-slap laws as America. Therefore, it's easier to claim defamation. That is good to know.
That makes sense.
Both for this case and also Ethan's future defamation cases. Probably going to be a lot harder for him to prove it. And then, you know what? Honestly, I think a good defense attorney would just be able to go through a lot of Ethan's old videos and be like, here is... here's your guy. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know all the right terms.
Give me your lawyer.
Not to defend it. Here's the alligator. Here's the alleger. Doing all the same things. So I don't know. Can you even do that in court? That just feels like something you would do on a TV show about the court, where you would just do a character assassination, be like, oh, if that's defamation, what do you call this, Ethan? And it's just like a 3-hour montage of all the times he has said just heinous shit about people without checking the facts first. I'm like, oh, okay. I rest my case, Your Honor.
I love all of it. I wait to see how it all goes down. So this was the Kiwi Farms Josh dude. He says at Billy Mitchell on Twitter, and then shares this video. Let's watch. This had me cracking up.
On a more positive note, it really seems like Billy's legal crusade is coming to an end. All of his lawsuits have either been dismissed or settled. Note that Billy has never ever actually won.
So this is Karl, a clip from Karl's video. Now he has this he does the same voice as that meme. Burger King foot lettuce. Doesn't he? Doesn't he sound like it?
He does kind of sound like he paid for an AI of himself because he got tired of reading his own writing. Like any sports fan would tell you when you look at this and you'd say, oh shit, man, he's due. You know, like any baseball fan will tell you when their favorite player's 2 for their last 19. They're like, he's due, brother. This is gonna be a 4-hit game. Like you look at this, you think, well, there's no way the law of averages would suggest that eventually this fucker's gonna win one. I would have been nervous as hell, been like, oh my god, this dude's never won a case. I'm it. Like it's gonna be me, isn't it? Son of a bitch. And I want to also call out what Hash mentions here. That hair, again, as we often do, it's time for this man to come home. I mean, Danny, we know a lot of bearded, bald gentlemen, right? Tell me this guy isn't bald under that rug. That's a bearded egg if I've ever seen one.
I gotta Google a picture of him. Does it not look like he is like melting here? Like I paused on his face right here, and it looks like he has like he's wearing like 10 pounds of makeup, but it looks like from our perspective, the right side, it'd be his left side of his face is like melting like a stroke.
He might
have had a stroke, and I feel bad if I'm saying that. I mean, I guess that's the truth, though, right? He had a stroke.
He got these wigs off the back of a truck from former Mayor Giuliani. He didn't realize that they were also dyed by Giuliani's guy. So he's just got this definitely not FDA approved black substance oozing from his sweaty dome into his left eye. Very similar to how Harvey Dent became Two-Face, Danny. Oh yeah, look at dude, he is bald as the day is long. There ain't no part in that hair where it's that far back. Are you kidding me?
He's just a character. He looks a character. That's why I wore a tie today.
He looks like me. That one episode I had the pink wig on, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, this dude doesn't know what it's supposed to look like to have hair.
God.
You know, like when you don't know what hair looks like, you might put your wig on wrong and go to where are people taking so many photos of this guy? Is he paying for small venues to have like these little sheets made so he can take photos in front of like a barcade? And they've just got that white sheet there. It's like an 8x8, and nobody really knows he's in an alley somewhere. It's like, what is this? All these red carpet photos of this guy.
Apparently, we're bullying him. But so is this the cartoon? Kevin was telling me prior to the show that one of the lawsuits that Billy got into was with Cartoon Network because they made a cartoon of him. Is this the one?
That's the one right there. It's main characters were about to break a arcade's record, and this head floats up from space and essentially begs them not to beat the game because it's all he has in his whole life. It was interesting from what I saw. Can't believe how you could see that and not be like, how cool is that? Somebody made a cartoon of me, because I mean he's definitely a narcissist. It's weird.
It's actually Shadow Humor they made the cartoon of. They didn't. He still won the lawsuit though, or no, he lost, didn't he? He lost this one. Or they settled. Sure.
I believe he lost this one. I don't remember.
We have to pull back up that other video.
Can we pull up the graphic? Yeah,
yeah, we will. But Harl says the regular show is what it happened on here, the one with the blue jay and the raccoon. Okay, I do want to say something, which is kind of a tangent on what Harl's just said. This like era of those cartoons, like the regular show and like Adventure Time, and there were a few other ones that like the Chowder thing or whatever, they kind of all have this similar vibe to me, and they all get confused in my head. I've never watched any single one of those, that like era of Cartoon Network shows, but people are really obsessed with the Adventure Time and the regular show or whatever. And they all blur together to me, and I'm also not interested. But.
You're like, what's this Rick and Mordecai business? What is this? There is kind of a genre, right? Like the tag team multiversal adventure where it's like, you know, and I haven't watched a lot of these, but Adventure Time, you got Mordecai and Rigby. What are their names on this thing? You got Rick and Morty. It's like its own little niche there.
Interesting, yeah. Regular show's exceptional, Harl says. So maybe I'll have to give it a chance.
I liked this episode.
Let's Gravity Falls. Yeah, that might be another one too. I don't know. I mean, now that you're naming more of them, I'm like, there was this many. I must have.
Billy Mitchell used to say, but wait, there's more. Oh wait, sorry, wrong guy again.
Let's see. Harl says the creator made a pilot for HBO or Adult Swim, but they wanted him to do something for the daytime programming. I mean, I guess that's definitely like the people saying, "Oh, you've got something good here. Like you've got something good." And if they're pushing you from late night to daytime television, that means they like really think that you're doing something good, right? I would assume, because you're I feel like you're relegated to the night shift where they're like, oh, your show is going to be too weird or too out there or too edgy. So they relegate you to that Adult Swim era, like that time slot.
Like but the midnight.
Yeah. But if your show has a good enough idea, I feel like that's when they tell you, hey, come to daytime with it. We'll just make it a little, more acceptable for children. And we've got yourself a daytime hit.
That could be it. Probably, especially if it's a cartoon. Generally speaking, I remember back in it's been 30 years, Danny, since I watched TV in the daytime, back in the day. And
don't say that.
The babysitter was often watching The Days of Our Lives. What is it? As sand in the
Young and the Restless.
So are the days of our lives or something. There's always some wild shit going on.
Guiding Light. We love soap opera.
Soap operas during the day, wrestling at night. I was just getting a bunch of just ridiculous storylines as a kid. It was intense. This guy, Billy Mitchell, looks like he could be on daytime television.
He was actually in a bunch of soap operas in the 90s.
You can always tell.
Cartoon Network one was dismissed. It says, what does that mean? That they're just like nobody gets any money and they're just like fuck off, dismissed, as opposed to settled is when they're like they agree on a certain amount of money, I believe. Yeah,
settled implies that most likely it was money that exchanged hands, but they came to some sort of an agreement that no longer required a judge or a jury to make any decision. Dismissed, I imagine, is I don't know at what stage it would be, if it would be in discovery or what, but I'm assuming at that point that's when the judge just says this is nonsense, or no, you don't have a case here, so we're dismissing it. Or it could also be a lawyer saying to old Billy, dude, you don't have a case here. You might want to pull out of this one.
Yeah, V-Dub said the same thing. It means it was a BS case.
Yeah, long story short, someone looked at it and said, this is bullshit. And one way or another, they shut it down.
So let's continue to watch this, though. I thought this was just so funny how he's like, there's no way he'll ever win a case.
On a more positive note, it really seems like Billy's legal crusade is coming to an end. All of his lawsuits have either been dismissed or settled. Note that Billy has never, ever actually won. The only lawsuit Billy has remaining is the one against me. Am I really going to be the only person Billy wins against? Oh boy, wouldn't that just be hilarious. Thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you're having a fantastic day.
Hold on,
let him finish. See you in the next video.
Hope you have a good one, you legends. He's doing that Burger King foot lettuce guy. He's doing it on purpose.
That is
have
like
a good
perfect,
one, you legends.
It's Always Sunny cold open, and then it just cuts to the black screen. Karl loses the lawsuit. Like, what am I gonna do? Lose this lawsuit?
That or like right, that or just the classic Larry David where the next shot is like a like an article that says like Karl Jobst loses 300K in lawsuit or whatever, and then it's the burm 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 burm.
Yeah, I was a shoo-in. I was a shoo-in.
Oh, that is funny. So there's that. I got a couple more funny things. Wouldn't that be funny? He says. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Here's an old thumbnail I thought was kind of funny. This video did not age well.
Oh, yeah, man. Again, this is where make fun of sports all you want, but we have seen commentators say this kicker has made 27 field goals in a row, and then 2 seconds later he doinks it. It's like, we already know you don't jinx this stuff. You don't draw attention to it. You don't point at it. You certainly don't celebrate before you've won anything. And again, just what a bold, I have to say, dumb strategy to say, this dude is suing me. Let me focus all of my content around him suing me. That is certain to help me in my defense of a defamation lawsuit. Like,
well, didn't he do that completionist thing in between? So like it wasn't everything he was doing, Kevin. You know, it's funny, like they slam dunked on the completionist so hard with his bullshit and his charity stealing or whatever. I guarantee you when this dropped and like everybody was saying, oh, Karl lost, haha, whatever. Dude, the completionist had to be like, even though he's like bankrupt probably now and fucking flipping burgers at Wendy's or something, you know, he was probably like, fuck yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, dude, he's eating his lunch in his car at the Taco Bell parking lot, just fist pumping. Yes, dude, fuck you. How does it feel? How does it feel?
So,
no.
Yeah, the completionist somewhere out there, very excited and elated, but he can't post because that would be like, he also suffers from that because if he just came out of nowhere and like made a post like, ha 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 ha, Karl Jobst, you lost, you bitch, like people would be like, oh my god, you're pathetic, dude, you're an absolute fucking loser. So he's got to sit on it. He can't like actually dunk on him.
Yeah, because plenty of people are saying that to him already. You know, he doesn't need any more. He can only, again, he also knows that he's not going to win too many more of these. You know, this is probably, if Billy is smart at all, he's going to stop it. You know, hopefully the next guy he tries to sue learns from Karl's mistakes. There were so many opportunities to take a detour here for poor Karl that I just would be beside myself if I got to the position where he's in today, because at a certain point the glass shatters and you're like, oh my god, dude, I'm such a fucking idiot. I feel like we've all been there, right? You get almost hypnotized by your own anger or emotion, whatever it is that kind of gets you whipped up into a frenzy. You type that really long email. Most of the time, you know better than to hit send, but you know, because the glass shattered at some point, you're like, wait a minute, dude, I can't do that in this economy. I can't rage quit today. Are you kidding me? Ain't nobody gonna be hiring for a long time. No, I'm just kidding, but we've all had those moments where like, what the fuck was I doing? And I think Karl is probably somewhere around there on in his stage of life right now. Just
we'll
thinking,
see.
How was I this fucking stupid? All these different things I did and said that contributed. Like this was the layup line again. Like this was like this was yours to lose. You know, all you had to do is not fuck it up. Just here's a new car, kid. Don't crash it. Couldn't even get out of the neighborhood.
So we'll see, yeah, because when he posts this video, we'll get a lot better insight on like what he's thinking, what's rolling around in his head about all this. But there were some Twitter posts that we can look at. So check these out here. Karl says, this is immediately after, right? I lost. The judge found Billy to be a credible witness and believed his entire testimony. So it's funny too, like when he explains this, he's all like, which he's probably right, but he's all like, this is bullshit, essentially, from the top. Because he says the judge found him to be a credible witness. He's saying essentially that he's not a credible witness.
Right.
His entire testimony is bunk and not believable, but he believed it anyways. From that point on, unfortunately, there was really nothing that could have saved me.
Oh, yeah, he's fucked, Danny.
I will now obviously consider my options. I know many of you will be upset with this, and I'm sorry for that. Thank you again for all the support I have received, and I will endeavor to work as hard as I can to repay all that you are owed. Now, I have questions here, okay? At least for the back half of this. He says, I know many of you will be upset with this, and I am sorry for that.
Right.
Is he saying that people are going to be upset with him?
No, I think he's just a narcissist, Danny.
Because it's like, many of you will be upset with this, and I'm sorry for that. Like, why are you apologizing for something that you couldn't have helped? It's like
because he let down all of his fans, all of the people who wake up every day and say, "Did Karl Jobst post yet?" Those people,
Right.
Because because so much of this wouldn't have happened if he had just checked himself at any point in time. But we are clearly dealing, and the reason I feel so confident to just lob out that narcissist term, Danny, is in that moment when I told you he was fucked. He said, from that point on, unfortunately, there was really nothing that could have saved me. So again, no accountability still to this point. Nowhere along this path could I have made a different decision that would have led me to a different result. No, this is just something that has happened to me. The world is against me. It's not my fault. I got a bad judge. These are just traits that perhaps I feel very comfortable saying this also because I know Karl doesn't have the money to sue me, so he can't accuse me of defamation right now.
Well,
so
all he has to do is run a GoFundMe or whatever.
I'm just walking out on this.
You better
limb.
watch yourself.
It feels so good to be off the fence for once, gang. Karl, I think, is failing to see the bigger picture here, and probably is going to be a bumpy ride still.
Is that part of this, though, too, what he's saying here at this back half where he says, thank you again for all the support I have received, and I will endeavor to work as hard as I can to repay all that you are owed. So somewhere in the midst of this, he had crowdfunded for the lawsuit, correct?
That's certainly what it sounds like, Danny.
And he's saying that he's going to pay the people back? Is that what he's saying? Because that's just crazy. I mean, like,
he's not going to do that. He's
well,
just
like,
social points for saying it.
Maybe. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. If you're going to crowdfund for legal matters, whatever, and people want to support you, that's fine. Do you have to pay it back if you lose the lawsuit? Like, what the fuck? Like, the sense doesn't, I'm not connecting it. I'm not connecting the dots here. Because, like, I would just think that if he raised a bunch of money for the lawsuit and lost, that you could lose or you could win. Like, why do you have to pay people back now? I'm confused. Unless he lied about it, right? Is that part of it? That he like misled people into thinking that it was all about, it wasn't about this Apollo shit where he was saying that he was responsible for the suicide. They all thought it was something else, right?
That maybe, and VDub has potentially a point here. Could he face legal problems for saying the GoFundMe and case was over cheating in games when it wasn't?
Right.
Maybe
that's what I'm going.
Yeah. So you guys seem to be on the same page there. That could be it. Here's what I think it is, but this is based on the rest of my theory. What up, Kang? I'm glad to hear. Oh, dog training just got done. Hell yeah. I think that based on if the rest of my theory is true, and Karl's got a little bit of some of this narcissism that's been going around, I think that I just lost it. This was just something that he could say that would get him some points back with his audience. So people
Right.
would jump into the replies and say, "Oh, you don't owe." So they would do exactly what you just did, Danny, because
Gotcha.
it's not a legitimate offer, because that's something that a lot of people will do, just generally speaking. If I say I'll do something for you in the future, I will get your thanks and your gratitude for saying it, and then I will deal with that later on. I mean, how many people? God, the predator hunter himself, Chris Hansen, has done this to people, right? So it's something that people all definitely do, and based on these other little slips that I have seen in the facade, I am banking that this was just a hollow, casted out line. I promise I'll pay all of you guys back so that he could get a little bit of a pick me up from the people rushing to his replies to say, you were so fucked, man. This is bullshit. How dare they use your own tweets and videos against you in a court of law? I'm sure there's a rule against that somewhere. You're the man. You don't have to pay us back. You did nothing wrong. That kind of stuff, right? It's just sort of a, oh, woe is me. Feel bad for me. I promise to make it up to you because you're the important ones here, not me.
It is interesting that so many of his fans feel slighted by that, though. Like, I just have seen so many posts and so many people complaining about the fact that they thought that the lawsuit was a different direction rather than the Apollo shit, the sewer slide shit. So many people thought it was because of the cheating shit, like V-Dub was saying. So, I don't know. This is just such an interesting thing. I can't wait to see how it
another bold
unfolds.
strategy when you're being accused of lying, essentially, about someone, to then lie to your audience about what your lie lawsuit is about. Just again, I rest my case, Your Honor. The more we talk about this, the more the evidence reveals itself that Karl was kind of an idiot here, and I think I'm being generous by saying kind of.
Okay, so here's another post right after the other one that we read. I removed my last video. So his last video must have been something about the lawsuit, I guess. Obviously, people are upset. So it is better I address the concerns of the public first and make a video explaining everything before I release future videos. I would just like to ask you to wait for my video before making a full judgment. I'm sorry for releasing the video today. It was due to a sponsor obligation, but that's far more important than addressing your concern.
It ain't my fault.
Or
It
less
ain't my
important.
fault. Dude, hey, lock it in, boys.
So he posted a different video to meet a sponsorship obligation, and people thought, what the fuck, because of all this lawsuit stuff going on, why are you posting about this right now? You should be posting about that. So he deletes the video. Interesting. But yes, I would just ask you to wait for my video before making a full judgment, because I already did. We've been
Don't talk to
judging
anybody
them
else.
this entire time.
Don't be tainted by the facts until you've heard my story. Like, dude, this is not good behavior. This is all, first of all, I couldn't stop laughing. Where does he say, I address the concerns of the public first? Like, dude, you tell me this dude doesn't sniff his own farts, man? Are you kidding me? I must address the concerns of the public, bro. You got sued for talking shit about gaming's second biggest lol cow. What are we doing here? You need to address the concerns of the public. You're the one dummy alive that can actually be found guilty of defamation on this planet of Earth right now. And you need to, you're so important. You have to address the concerns of the public. Also, again, if you'll mention things that happened in there that weren't his fault. Oh, sorry, my sponsors made me late. Dude, just fuck off. Is anything that ever happens to you you're doing, or are you just a goddamn plastic bag floating in the wind, just being dragged across the concrete by your fucking nose? Because you're not my fault, guys. I'm just the main character here, and bad things keep happening to me because everyone's against me. How dare you, Karl? How dare you put me in a position where I'm actually siding with that idiot Billy Mitchell? You, sir, have let me down, and you have ruined my Sunday, Karl.
Fuck you, Karl. God damn it. Honestly, though, Kevin, we may need to give Karl a bit of a break. because I'm about to show you something that might, maybe this will shake the foundation of your thoughts here.
Excellent.
Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell always has a plan, Kevin. So he knew all along that he was going to win against Karl. Karl was destined to lose, okay? Billy had a plan the entire time.
I reeled him in with those 9 previous losses.
That's what it is. He was doing the
Second
long con, dude. He was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to lose and lose. It's like the pool game, the pool table sharks or pool sharks.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, I'll lose a couple. And then everybody starts gathering around. They're like, why is this guy betting a bunch of money when he sucks so bad? And then all of a sudden, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, he was fake being drunk the whole time. Billy's just been pretending this whole time to be a complete dunce.
He handed gaming's biggest cheater a clear win. I agree. So there you go, folks. Billy Mitchell, Karl Jobst. Karl will be coming out with a video explaining everything shortly, and I definitely want to watch it. And if it's funny enough, we'll talk about it on the show. Okay. Either way, I guess we'll update about it. But if sometimes these apology style videos, he could come out with a ukulele. This could be good.
Yes, dude. We were gonna make the same joke. I love that.
So we have to wait and see, folks. But anyways, it is halftime, a little bit over, but we're here. So Kevin, if you need to exit stage right, now's the time while I shout out our members. Members this week, we got quite a few. I just wanted to thank anyone that's here right now for being here, okay? If you liked the stream, I appreciate that. If you haven't, maybe you should. I would really appreciate that. I love all the comments in the chat, everybody, from Sleek to VDub to Harls to Kanga to anybody that's up in there, okay? We'll get to you all at the end, but appreciate you for being here and participating in the chat. If you're just a lurker, we love you too, okay? I see you out there. I see what you're doing. You're hiding in the bushes. It's fine. All right? Max, I know you're out there somewhere being a good boy. So shouts out to you as well. But anyways, Max is not a member of the show. I guess that's the problem with being a dog. You can't really be a member to a YouTube show, but our members are Pest. First member and first in the chat today, too. If you didn't see that, Pest, shouts out to him. Ivana Santini, Advent, renshouse.com, baby. VDub, Headbug Inc., Andy Zucchini, Barbarella, K-Huck Cast, Kinda Cool Greg, Hash, Kangalope, Rapid Danger, Kia Cat, and Sleek the Geek. Thank y'all for being members. We really appreciate you, okay? And keep your eyes peeled for videos coming out. We're going to have a video sometime this month, and I think it's going to be about, okay, think about this. I think it's going to be about, and the second half of the show is also going to be about this, washed up comedians, okay? I'm thinking it's going to be styled similarly to like the first video that we did coming back, the first edited video we did this year, about the lefties after the election lost. How are they going to make money? Well, they do it by infighting. That's what the video was about. This video, I think coming up, is going to be about washed up comedians. What can we do to keep the money train rolling after our comedic chops have been used up? Okay. People like Russell Brand, people like Crystalia. I still got research to do, but there's plenty of comedians that have done this whole, especially since the internet has become more of a thing. And a lot of these older comedians, like, it took them a little bit to get on the internet train. And Rob Schneider is another one. Russell Brand, like I said, Crystalia, all these freaks. Okay. Rob Schneider, luckily, hasn't been caught, at least as far as I know, doing any like degenerate things like hooking up with 16-year-olds like Russell Brand did. Schaub, maybe that's another one, but I got research to do still. But washed up comedians sounds like a good trajectory for us, Kevin. What do you think about that? Next video, washed up comedians.
The real question is, are we going to limit them to the Rogan sphere, or are we just going to do all of them? Because it's still, that's not much of a Venn diagram. It's like, it's almost like a Pac-Man drawing.
Yeah.
You know, you got a little bit outside, but it's just.
Maybe it'll be a mixture. Hey, research is still happening. So you'll see how that develops over the course of the month when we finally launch that washed up comedian video. But Kevin, I will let you prep the audience for Russell Brand and the drama going on here. I guess lots of trigger warnings you could give.
That's right.
Lots of things you could talk about up front before we get into that. So I will be right back and I will let you do that.
We are also going to fire up a disavow. And just in case we hear any of his response, I'm gonna throw up an X'd out, gang. How are we doing now that we're in the afternoon? Get ready for round 2. As you saw in the thumbnail, and as Danny just explained, I'm going to be talking about Russell Brand, who really just should have quit after forgetting Sarah Marshall. What a legacy that would have been, just to drop in, be that hilarious side character that at the time we didn't know was just him kind of just being himself on set. Sounds like a little bit. But no, as so many failed actors have before him, he went to the political grift. Now, I would say you have this on both sides, but for whatever reason, it seems to me that at least recently there have been some more notable former actors like Zachary Levi, guys who honestly at this point, their podcasting or just internet behavior career has already outshined whatever accolades they got as an actor. Because for Russell Brand, it was forgetting Sarah Marshall, then the Get Him to the Greek, which was just a random ass spinoff of Forgetting Sarah Marshall. And
don't
then
forget about Arthur, the British breakout hit.
Oh, I already did forget about it because I was just about to say, and that's all I've got for you. Much like with Zachary Levi, I've got, well, I don't know how many Shazams there were, but I know he played Shazam, and that The Rock did admittedly kind of ruined that. Zack Snyder and The Rock were not very helpful in making Shazam a success, but now I hear just more about his dumb tweets than I ever heard about him. The only time I heard about him this much as an actor, when he was trying to say to the fans, it's not my fault. We wanted to do something cooler with Superman. And, it's just been all downhill from there.
There's a lot of those that maybe it can be an actor / comedian thing. You know what I mean? Because you reminded me of that chick from Star Wars too. What was her name? The one that she was like in Mandalorian or whatever, and then they didn't rehire her.
The baddest woman alive, Gina Carano.
That's the one.
The woman who really put women's MMA on the map. Ronda. Gina crawled so that Ronda could walk.
Okay.
And then Gina said she felt as persecuted, I believe, as I think she said she felt like something along the lines of she felt like she was a member of a Holocaust survivor, was something around those terms.
I was hoping she made like some kind of Star Wars reference. Like what's a race in Star Wars that is?
Right. It's like you're an actor, an actress, or an actor in a universe that was very based off of World War II. You could have just used that. You had this whole, you're like, I feel like I'm in the Rebel Alliance here for real. And you would have gotten away with it.
You did it.
That's all you had to do. Or just wait until 2024, 2025, and you would never have gotten fired for saying that. You could probably get away with it now. You just got to pick your spots, Gina.
She said the vaccine thing was like wearing the stars like a Jew during World War II.
There it is. There it is.
Oh my God.
Actually, it was based on Dune. Thank you. That's right. It's the. Thank you, Harles.
Nation could have sworn Russell Brand was already on the sex offender list. Well, think about it too, and I really think about it, guys. You know, Kevin laid out a bunch of Russell's movies, his biggest movies or whatever, Forgetting Sarah Marshall and Get Him to the Greek or whatever. And Harles says, could have sworn he was already a registered sex offender. Not only has he just looked like one, sorry, he just looks like a Jesus ripoff that wants to take you into the back room and do bad things to you or do drugs with you or something on the back of a toilet and then like corner you. He looks like that. He just looks like that. I don't know what it is. He's like, it's the hair and the grease and the ratty beard. He looks like homeless. I mean, I don't know, but he just looks like a sex offender from the jump. Then you watch the movies that he's in, and I had said something on Twitter about it being like Chris D'Elia, and here I'll explain myself. In Forgetting Sarah Marshall, he's the villain of the movie. First off, he's banging the main character's wife or whatever, boo thing that he wanted to get back with. So and like in the entire movie, they paint him as a sleazeball, like fucking rocker freak, you know. And then to get him to the Greek, they like supercharge the whole thing because then he's like a super degenerate. Stroking the furry wall shit or whatever with Jonah Hill and that one. They're doing drugs and partying and
with
doing
P.
like
Diddy.
with exactly. That's where I was going. With P. Diddy. With P. Diddy, dude. So not only is he just the looking like the creepy fucking sexual predator anyways from the jump, he's also playing just the stereotypical like rocker guy that would do such a thing to you, to underage girls too. He acts like a hair metal band or something from like, you know, 30 years ago.
Or the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Right, exactly, where they think it's like they're fine. We love young girls. Like he's all about it. The dude is all about it. Okay? And the Diddy thing is what makes me laugh so hard. It's like he literally was in a movie playing a fucking role where he was with Diddy partying. Okay, like it couldn't be funnier that he later says, "Hey, I was at a Diddy party and I didn't see any baby oil." So he admits that he went.
Yeah, I was blindfolded back there, but I didn't see anything.
But you know what I mean? Like he's the most obvious diddler ever, and like Chris D'Elia, where I was relating it to that. Chris D'Elia plays a chomo in
Workaholics.
Workaholics. Yeah, I couldn't think of what it was. He plays a chomo in Workaholics, and then he does You and plays a chomo in You. Both double chomo roles, and then turns out that he's been talking to a bunch of underage girls all the time. So it's the same case here. It feels the same exact way to me. He's a sleazeball fucking drugged out loser, rock star persona, and now he's getting fucking charged with all this sexual misconduct. Yeah.
Which egg? I've never been to a Diddy party.
Maggot says pedo 22, cuck 22. I bet. I mean, honestly, like talk about the same vein of people here. When we were talking about Adam 22 at the top, I mean, I haven't heard any allegations or lawsuits against him from any women, but that's the next thing to come out, right? It's like, I wouldn't doubt that kind of shit about that sleazeball.
Dude, no, I would not be surprised. I hate to is that defamation if I say that?
Maybe.
I would not be surprised.
In Minecraft.
Is that am I allowed? Am I within my legal rights to say
that's your opinion, Kevin?
Someone looks like they would send their dick pic to just anyone.
So let's get into it, okay? Russell Brand, people. You can already hear it in my voice. I've got shit. I've got shit for this motherfucker. I hate, like, the real shitty thing is I liked those movies, or at least I really like Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I love that movie. Like that was that's like a special movie to me. When I was in high school, I feel like my girlfriend at the time, we bought that thing and watched that movie like a billion times. Like Forgetting Sarah Marshall holds this nostalgia for me. I probably won't watch it now, but I certainly won't be watching Get Him to the Greek. No, actually, I might want to watch Get Him to the Greek just so I can be like, yep, yeah, that's creepy. That's creepy. But what was my point here? I'm just mad that he ruined all those things for me. I don't care about fucking Get Him to the Greek now because I'm just like, you fucking self-reported yourself 10 years before you got convicted with all this shit.
All Get Him to the Greek ever accomplished for me was, man, I wish I'd have put Sarah Marshall on instead. You know, it was just like, I just watched the better movie. I don't need. Turns out I didn't need more of this character. I got just the right amount in the first movie. Wouldn't you know it?
So here's a little left tucky for us infographic. Russell Brand has been charged with rape, indecent assault, and sexual assault, allegedly involving 4 different women. Okay. 4 women, 2 counts of R-word and indecent assault, 2 counts of S-word assault, sexual assault. I guess, does the sexual matter? I don't think so. 1 woman was 16 when Brand was 30, involving essay and assault. Okay. Double essay, I guess. They're both essays. S abuse and S assault. But when I was researching, like one of the things that stuck out to me was one of them was 16. And the NBC article that I read, 16 is legal there, Kevin. So 16 is the legal age in the UK, wherever this happened, wherever the assault, wherever the hookup happened. The 16 is legal, but he was 30. He was 30 hooking up with a 16-year-old and then did this shit. So, like, I don't know, dude. All these motherfuckers come out of the woodwork, like the quartering and shit, and be like, they're just canceling because he come out against Big Pharma or whatever. And I'm like, dude, even if you don't believe that he abused or whatever these women, okay, assaulted and abused these women, even if you don't believe that, when you take just the bare bones facts of the whole situation, he was hooking up with a fucking 16-year-old when he was 30. Okay. If just the facts don't lead you to like think, oh, well, some of this stuff that he did may be true. It's kind of weird. Why is he hooking up with a fucking 16-year-old when he's 30? I mean, that's literally like my age now hooking up with a 16-year-old. Like, what in the fuck?
That's gross.
What the fuck? I mean, I'm a little older than that, so I'm de-aging. But you get what I mean, though. Like, the guy is a fucking freak just based on the facts without the court involved. You know what I mean?
Yes, and V-Dub helps out the English folks here, saying that it is definitely frowned upon, to say the least.
Nonce. How do you say it? I want to say it right. Nonce? I'm not British enough for it. God damn it.
Nonce.
He's a chomo.
What are you on about, Danny? You nonce? Something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it's fucking gross, dude. I can't even.
Yeah. Maggot and Kanga both said Katie was married to him, and yeah, that's in the thumbnail. I had her upset about the whole situation, but I mean, I guess that's why they're divorced, right? I would love to hear her come out and say, like, yeah, you think he's a freak because all this? Like, I got tons of things I could tell you about. I bet Katy Perry has a whole fucking memoir she can do about the fucking however many years she spent with him. But here's a little bit of an article.
Like, he always asked me to do my hair in pigtails. Just like weird. You know, at first I thought the schoolgirl thing was just like a one time, like, he'd It's like a Halloween. Let's get freaky on Halloween. But no, it was every weekend. He's out here asking me to dress like a teenager. You know, that was probably the first red flag.
Huh. Maggot's already singing. Wait, is it paper bag or it's plastic bag, isn't it? See, I know Katy Perry, okay?
Ooh.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? Something. I don't know the song.
I would say, was she huffing paint? Is that why she was with Russell for so long?
But I mean, yeah, dude, the fucking kissed a girl lady, okay? She made a whole song about kissing a girl and liking it, which is fine, but just a
No,
weird
she didn't
song
say
to
woman.
play.
No, she didn't say woman. I don't know.
Oh, Kevin, are you cracking the case?
You guys are suggesting this
is
is what broke them up. It seems that maybe it's a possibility this is what got them together in the first place. All right. Come on.
She liked girls too, didn't she? They
Yeah.
both loved girls together, in fact. Wait, that's what I'm saying. Wait until the truth comes out. You know, this whole court thing, they do their investigations and they find information sometimes that people don't want to get out there. Katy Perry is probably sweating. She's like, damn, dude, if they fucking one of these, I was there watching in the corner that one time.
I mean, have we ever seen Katy Perry and Ellen DeGeneres at a party together? Because I mean, we could be onto something here.
Are they the same person? Is that what you're saying?
Well, maybe. I don't know how all the rituals work, but
okay, right.
I bet they've met amongst the tall trees, Danny. You know what I'm saying?
Here, let me read some of this PBS article here. It says, London's Metropolitan Police Force said Brand 50, so 50 years old now he is. 50 years old. Ugh.
Old enough to know better.
Well, I mean, he was younger when he did this stuff, right? And he was addicted to drugs, okay? I was addicted to drugs and I was young and dumb, so it's not my fault. 1 count of grape, 1 indecent assault, and this one gets more specific with it, is why I brought this up. Because it's 1 oral grape and 2 sexual assault. So like when you get really granular with it and get really down to like the specific details, he's just gross as fuck, dude. He's doing some gross shit to these young women, okay? He denied engaging in non-consensual activity, so just got to say that.
Oh, just a wee bit of the statutory, mate, you know.
But this is interesting, and maybe some of our UK viewers can give us some I don't know, background info on some of this. These alleged offenses involve 4 women and took place between 1999 and 2005. 1 in the English seaside town of Bournemouth, and the other 3 in the Westminster area of London. I don't mean that's what I meant by the whole. Maybe our viewers across the pond here can give. Is there any insight that I can glean from Bournemouth or Westminster?
I just hope that the oral charge didn't take place in Bournemouth. Otherwise, you're going to have some very inappropriate giggling during that case. I feel very bad for the victim in that case. They're like, you gotta be shitting me. Really? In Bournemouth? Come
on. Bab says, I had to stop watching him earlier last year when this first came out. Damn shame. Too bad Diddy didn't get him that night in Vegas. It seems like
Jeffries might have done the trick.
Yeah, right. It seems like Russell and Diddy might end up in the same place, so they might get their justice there, Babs. But yeah, I imagine. I mean, like, look, I don't think anyone that. I think there's a lot. This happens a lot with celebrity shit where people like somebody because they're a character and they're funny, whatever, and then this shit comes out about them and they're like shocked, and their first thing is to like defend. And I think that's what some of the people are doing. Like, they're not all just like right-wing grifters like the Quartering. I think some people are like, but my favorite comedian would never. But yeah, they just have to come to terms with it, like Bab said. And they're just like, well, you read a certain thing, and then you're like, okay, well, now I can't go along supporting somebody like that any longer, you know.
You just wish they would have recast Kang the Conqueror instead of completely doing away with the whole character, Danny. That's my only problem. Sometimes your emotions get in the way. Sometimes it's not even the actor. It's just that, no, wait, no, that character is kind of cool. We can't do this. We have to replace him. Don't you? No, not Doctor Doom. Damn it. Anyway, tangent.
There's Kevin's take on that canceling thing. You know how that goes. I mean, yeah. What did that guy do, anyways? What did the Kang dude do? He abused.
I believe that's
right?
a DV case. Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. Equally egregious.
Also bad. Yeah.
Just
also bad.
Just a different kind of disgusting lack of impulse control.
So we've got a little bit of Russell's response here. Do you want to listen to a little bit of Russ?
Oh, I can't wait. We've been primed for this. You guys think Karl was a little bit on the gaslighty side running defense for his failed lawsuit? This dude he's probably a level 100 gaslighter. You know, think about this. He's been manipulating 16-year-olds to do weird shit for him for how long? He's got a whole group of people who he has convinced that, oi, I'm sober and Christian now, as I believe Kang said. Leave me alone. This is Russell 2.0. All right, we don't associate with that last guy. Look at me now. I've got a straw hat. I'm just an old man with me Birkenstocks.
He's just a pirate, okay? And we love pirates.
We do love
those One Piece pirates. When you do that kind of thing, this is how Hassan knew when he said that the Timothée Chalamet guy, he was like, "Oh, you're just like Luffy, you're a pirate." And then that, like, everybody gets way more comfortable because they're like, "Oh, I love One Piece and Luffy or whatever. He's just like Luffy." Okay. That's what Russ must have saw a little bit of that, and he's trying to hit up.
He's like, I'm a bit like Master Roshi, isn't it?
He is a bit like Master Roshi. Where are the porno mags, you freak?
Yeah, you dirty old bastard.
But anyways, the case is, or the court case is May 2nd. Okay, according to the article. So, not too much longer until we get to see this shit. And I don't know how it goes in the UK or whatever. And I know it's different from state to state in the United States. So, you know, who knows what the case may be. But some of these lawsuits, like the Amber Heard thing and blah, 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 get broadcasted. So maybe this will get broadcasted and we'll have a whole arc of us just like laughing at him in court. But maybe. We'll see.
Do you want more Asmongold's? Because that's how you get more Asmongold's.
But V-Dub said this came out around
bad?
September. Go ahead. No, you're fine.
We'll switch it back.
He said this stuff came out in September, but I think they just opened the case now. Yeah, like this is the actual, like, he's being charged now. Now he has to go defend himself or whatever. So yeah, May 2nd. But let's listen to some of Russell Brand here. Chat saying anything? Harl says, I might be thinking of Jared Leto's Freaky Cult Island, but I feel like Brand almost certainly has a cult going. Yeah. Specifically, you're right that Leto had, like, you could like buy into his cult, couldn't you, or something? It was like you pay him to be part of the weirdness. Maybe.
Oh yeah, they had a retreat. Yeah, there were videos of it, of just like everybody sitting in a circle at his feet. They're all wearing white robes. You want to talk about a dude who dolled himself up to look like white Jesus? It's between Jared Leto and this guy. They both, at least, like you said, this guy's got more of a beach bum vibe, whereas Leto is literally running around in robes.
Jared has the call at the Old Mason, and yes, you pay to get into the call. Yeah, so see, maybe that's where Russell Brand will be going. Maybe to pay for some of the court fees. He'll be like, yeah, I talked to God. You got to join.
Yeah, God's got to know you're serious, right? I mean, God only helps those who help themselves. The only way you can help yourself is by giving me your hard-earned money.
Exactly.
Look, I didn't make the rules, dude. I'm just the one who interprets them from God. and tells you what to do. There's nothing to see here, pal. Okay. We're just doing the Lord's work. Pay no attention to this man behind the curtain.
So let's listen to the prophet here give his statement. Russell Brand.
Hello. Firstly, thank you for these incredible and overwhelming messages of support. We're very fortunate in a way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you exit out on that? Dude, this guy's got the quartering retweeting him and saying, like, don't go after my favorite comedian. He's not a rapist, I swear. And he's like, thousands of messages coming. This is they do the same thing in reverse, where if you're going on that, like, oh, Hassan Piker sent his fans after me and I got thousands of death threats in my DMs. It sounds like that kind of thing. I got thousands of messages coming in worshiping me and wishing me luck in my court case. It's like, you got like two.
Yeah. I hope everybody who's sending him condolences is getting put on a watch list.
No, that's see, Elon keeps track of every DM that gets sent to him, and then those people get forwarded the email to get into the island or whatever.
He's like, buy a Tesla. You've been chosen. You win a Tesla.
We know you're our kind of people, okay? We've got an island for you. You like them 16 too, don't you?
You heard of McDonald's Island? I just discovered it. If you move there, I'll lower your tariff.
Did you see this thing? This is a tangent, obviously, but did you see this thing where a streamer got in a bunch of trouble because he was trying to contact a tribe that has like never been contacted by the rest of the world? Yes.
No, I didn't, because the last dude who did that got eaten. And this is what happens when you pay no attention to history. As you go around, you think, oh, I'm going to do something that's never been done before. No, it's been done before, dummy. You know why you don't hear about it as much is because no one comes back to tell you about it.
Well, okay, but I'm about to burst that bubble, Kevin. I think that the island with the people that have never been visited by anyone else in the world, you know what that island is? That's fucking Russell Brand's secret island with all the fucking 16-year-olds on it. That's what it is. They don't want you to go there. They're like, oh, it's a fucking tribe that's never been touched before or whatever. You don't want to give them diseases that they can't fight off or whatever. No, that's Chomo Island. And that fucking streamer was almost onto something, okay? He was on the he was like, you know, he was about to unfold the truth, and then those motherfuckers got him, okay? They silenced him.
It's a shame he didn't know how to swim, huh? I hear that. That happens a lot.
They said in the article I read about what I'm talking about, like this streamer guy, he brought him like a coconut and a Pepsi or something that he was going to share with them.
Like, they will make me their god.
They've never seen a can of Pepsi before.
Yeah,
They're
probably
shit their pants.
I've never seen aluminum before. Imagine what they'll do with the battery acid that's inside that thing.
What do you think? Do you think they would drink the Coke before they cooked him and ate him? Or do you think, you know, they would be like, I don't know about the Coke, but we know that this guy is going to taste pretty good?
I think the Coke would be utilized in many ways, but it would certainly be a part of the ritual sacrifice. So yes, like they would saute him or maybe marinate him in some of the Pepsi, maybe even some of the coconut.
All right, let's listen to some more, okay? To thousands of message outpour. Thank you for your outpour of concern and appreciation, okay?
To live in a time where there's so little trust in the British government. We're very fortunate, I suppose, that this is happening at a time where we know that the law has become a kind of weapon to be used against people.
Oh yeah, who's doing that? Who's using the law as a weapon?
Nations that will not accept and tolerate levels of corruption that are unprecedented. I'm speaking particularly to those of you that are watching.
So I did cut him off in the middle of his statement there. But this is the seeds of dissent he's sowing or whatever, however you say that. He's saying that because there's so much unrest with the government there right now, that the charges against him are somehow they're weaponizing it to get after him because he's going after big pharma or something, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the idea that he would say the government's so fucked up right now that they're just making up these things about me fucking diddling a 16-year-old or whatever. It's like, you are so fucking deluded. Who's going to believe your dumbass? Okay. Besides Jeremy, who's huffing farts directly from your ass, who is like, the government has enough time over there with all the unrest that's going on and all the fucked up shit that's going on over there. I hear it all the time from our UK viewers. They actually have the time to specifically go after Russell Brand, the comedian, the comedic actor. They're going after him because he's saying the truth about big pharma. It's like, dude, you are absolutely so full of shit.
Yeah, dude, it's the government. They can't stand you streaming on Rumble to 4,000 people a day or whatever it is, right? Like, it's not even, this guy didn't even have the imprint that Alex Jones has, right? And Alex Jones says way crazier stuff about the government. And I don't know. I also will not be surprised. Let me just say that if Alex Jones ends up on this list of dudes who are accused of some weird shit, I won't be surprised. But I'm just saying, I think if the government were going to employ these tactics, it's probably not going to be for Russell Brand. Also, they wouldn't need to because he's clearly just a degenerate already. So they wouldn't need to make up any stories. But I do love this pivot. I love that. It's not, I mean, we're 30 seconds into this clip, but he did it probably around 20, 21 seconds into his 90-second apology. He immediately turns it into the government is corrupt. I have been accused of these things because the government is corrupt, dude. I'm Neo. We're in the Matrix. The Matrix is trying to use its big Matrix machine on me. Just the dumbest shit. And it's a reason. There's a reason his audience and his type of content is the way it is. And I don't mean this to be disrespectful to Christianity as a whole, but there is a certain sect amongst many religions, by the way, but just like there is this idea, that's how televangelists were able to make so much money for so many years. There is this idea that someone with enough charisma that can deliver their sermons in the right way can not only talk people out of their money, but talk them into believing really anything that they say because, well, that's my extension. This guy's the one who connected me to God or whatever it is. And it really, you're dealing with an audience that is already faith-based. Like they're so much of what they're doing on your show is kind of just following you blindly because it's not necessarily that they're reading the Bible and they're getting their interpretation. They're taking what you are saying and building their personality and their approach to life around that, and therefore now they're more susceptible to your bullshit. And there's a reason why he makes this type of content because they're the only type of people left who might be able to fall for his grift is what I'm getting at. That there can't be anyone left that's not just a little too gullible at this point, unless they're also a degenerate, right? Like they're who is buying this at this point? Oh, the government's coming after me. I'm at the lowest point in my popularity of my entire career, and now is when the government wants to shut me down.
Yeah.
Right, of course. Makes perfect sense.
They need to nail this motherfucker because I feel like I mean, this might be super based and I might get canceled for saying this, but like I feel like that there are certain like occupations or like routes people take in life or can take in life that are like specifically like people associate with chomos or whatever. You know what I mean? So like one that comes to my mind very first, and I apologize to, not all church affiliated people are chomos. Okay. But there's always been this like underlying thing that people say about like, yeah, the pastor gets the little kid under his robe or whatever. There's a bunch of chomos involved in the situation because they have easy access to children or whatever. And I feel like in those situations, like, they always have that built-in defense, like, oh, I'm a man of God. and blah, blah, blah.
I repented.
Yeah. So like, it somehow absolves them of what they've done, or like maybe not absolves them of what they've done, but leads people to think like there's no way that this guy could have done what you're accusing him of, because he's a man of God and he's good. So,
And that's before he came to Jesus. So anything before that doesn't count, because he's not that same guy. He's been reborn in the blood of the Lamb, Danny. That's how it works.
But what I really think it is that there are people out there, and this is why I think they should nail this motherfucker in court. There are people out there that can be like, there's a chomo out there that's like, if I do the right wing grift and start talking about God or whatever to my followers, and I get enough people to like me because of that, when the allegations finally come out, or when the charges finally hit that I'm a chomo because of what I did 30 years ago or whatever, I've got this built-in defense of motherfuckers that are like, you're only going after him because he's going after the deep state or big pharma or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And they've got this like automatic defense, like automatic built-in group of people that are like, oh, he was the guy that was talking about big pharma though, right? They're just going after him. Like, that's what I meant about like the whole Catholic Church priest thing or whatever too, is like chomos, they get to do their thing there, and then they also get that built-in defense of like, well, I'm a man of God. We would never do something like that. Like, of course, I wouldn't lie. I'm telling you the truth. I wouldn't do that. He's got this same kind of like built-in defense. Oh, I wouldn't lie. Like, I didn't do this. They're only saying this because I'm going after big pharma. You get me?
It's wild how a guy who can peddle stuff like the Comet Pizza and say that, these guys, these global elites, they're all a bunch of Satanists. They kill children and bathe in their blood. But then his audience, who you would imagine be very pro-children, very anti-harming children, because, again, they're against all those pedophilers in the deep state.
Yeah.
When someone is revealed to them as a charlatan and a pedophile, they're like, nah, brother, you're just saying that. You're such a Satanist. You're accusing us of being Satanists. It's a double bluff. And it's like, bro, come on, dude.
It's bullshit. Ooh. That's why I want them to nail this motherfucker. Nail him. Okay. I want him to be get him on every single one. Yeah. I mean, well, put him in prison and then he'll get nailed there.
And then the nailing will take care of itself.
Yes. What I meant was nail him by putting him in prison. And the other stuff will happen naturally. He's too sweet of an ass to get away with prison time, dude. He'll be dropping that soap real quick. They'll be making him. Anyways, sorry, Russell. Let's listen to Russell. Let's hear him out. Okay, he's got a little bit more.
In the UK, how do you feel about your legal system right now? How do you feel about some of the high-profile cases that are not being pursued and prosecuted? How do you feel that the Southport murders were handled? How do you feel about the government of Keir Starmer? Now, that's just sort of general context. I've always told you guys that when I was young and single, before I had my wife and family, we were just out of shot over there, my beautiful children.
Oh, yeah.
I was a fool, man. I was a fool before I lived in the light of the Lord. I was a drug addict, a sex addict, and an imbecile. But what I never was,
a pedophile,
was a rapist. I've never engaged in non-consensual activity. I pray that you can see that by looking in my eyes.
I pray that you can see that by looking in my eyes. Like, how fucking crazy can you be, a guy, to try to convince people that you're telling the truth? Just look in my eyes. I swear, these four women that came out against me and saying this crap about me, don't believe them. Look in my eyes. Obviously, I'm telling the truth. Like, what kind of insano shit is this? No, I'm not going to just take your word. Your word, for some reason, is more valid than four other women coming out and saying that you are a fucking SA, sex pest, whatever the fuck, I'm supposed to take your word just because I look in your eye, your dreamy eyes.
I think there's something very telling in the way that he phrased it. He said, never participate in anything non-consensual. Yeah, that may not necessarily be the sticking point there, bud. It could be the fact that children of a certain age, no matter if they give you their consent, are not able to provide said consent. So when you say that, it's just very weird to have stipulations on a denial like that. Where you're like, I've never done anything that wasn't consensual, love. And it's like, well, so there were people under the legal age then? Because that's kind of what it sounds like when you just hone in on the fact, oh, I never forced myself on anyone. Like, well, yeah, okay. But how old were they? Well, it was always consensual, bruv. You know me. I was a bit of a degen back in them days. A little hootin' it too, as they say, huh?
Leading with that is like also fucking crazy. Please believe me, I didn't do it. But 5 seconds before, he's saying, I was addicted to drugs and sex, but please believe me that I didn't do it. It's like, dude, you're almost mounting a defense in your whole explanation here.
Yeah, he's essentially saying, for years, I had never had control of any of my impulses except this one. This is one that no matter how fucked up I was, this was my lie. You know, Clint Eastwood said a man's got to know his limitations. And when I was blacked out of my mind on all kinds of drugs and booze, I still had my moral compass, but I still had my wherewithal, as they say, because I'm just a humble peasant farmer who's bringing my kids off screen. He's pulling an Elon too, by the way, bringing his little toddler-sized meat shields out to social media to say, "Oh, I'm a dad." Why do pedophiles think that mentioning their children will ever help? That just makes it worse, dude. We've seen 80% of the people on Chris Hansen that have children will mention the kid. Oh, I swear on my daughter's life. And then next thing you know, there's an 180-page chat log of them saying, yeah, exactly that.
It is funny.
I can't see it in your eyes, you fucking cretin.
They really do always say that, don't they? They're like, yeah, I mean, when I really think about it, I understand. Like, I have a kid at home too, and like I would be torn up if some old guy banged my daughter. Wow. Wow.
And it's a defense I've never seen non-diddlers take, right? Because to us, the concept is so appalling, we wouldn't need any sort of reason why, right? You don't need a reason to not be a pedophile unless you're a pedophile and you're looking for reasons to convince somebody, oh, I wouldn't do that. I got kids. I wouldn't do it because it's heinous and disgusting and awful. It didn't matter if I've ever had kids or a sibling or a niece or a nephew. I don't need a grocery list of reasons why child. All right. So it's a big red flag as soon as you start giving me your reasons why you wouldn't diddle. Okay. You fucking diddler.
Allegedly.
I want to thank all of you for your continuing support. I want to let you know that our show will be on Rumble on Monday. Thanks for your support there. And of course, I'm now going to have the opportunity to defend these charges in court, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. In the meantime, you lot, stay free. And we will be continuing to discuss this matter.
Okay.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Don't forget to praise the Lord at the end.
Praise the Lord, dude. For sure.
This is like a Kevin spot right here at the end. He's like, never stop selling. By the way, over on Dweeb, we've got
right? Like, is this guy Mark Wahlberg selling prayer packages every day? Like, yo, prayers up. Hey, yo, prayers up. I definitely never beat up minorities with a baseball bat. Prayers up. Fuck Marky Mark. Have I said that? It's been a while since I've talked about how much I loathe that degenerate bastard. We'll talk about making a sham out of religious people. Marky Mark is one of the worst of all time. He's selling prayer. He is a televangelist.
Selling cars too.
And shitty hamburgers. Yeah, he's just
he's an entrepreneur, dude. I didn't realize, but yeah, he's selling burgers. You're right. Wahlburgers or whatever. He's got a car place here because I see the Mark Wahlberg car, the license plates and shit all the time. Like, he's got one in Ohio.
I think it is the Hollow app.
What else did we say? Burgers.
Religion. Yeah, religion. He says an app. I think there are two major prayer apps. He owns one of them, and I believe it is the Hollow app. Yeah, where he just does like a 90-second low effort, no headphones, just walking with my phone. hey guys, it's Mark Wahlberg. Prayers up. You know, get your prayers in. They have a video on the app that's Mark Wahlberg teaching you how to pray, which is what I'm saying. Like that, like the Bible will tell you that these people are charlatans. Like if you just read it yourself, you know, you could come up with your own. That's the great thing about a book is like you're supposed to read it and then you interpret it. And then you can maybe have some discussions, but the prerequisite is that you have read it. If you just show up every day and have some other dude do story time for 2 hours, it's not really a relationship that you have with God. It's a relationship with you have of this knucklehead's interpretation of God. And when that knucklehead is fucking Marky Mark, you, my friend, are so fucked. And I'm sorry to say it to you, but you're fucked. Stop giving Mark your money. Okay. He does not need it. I don't know why he keeps like how horrible of a human being would you need to be movie star rich and still gouge people as a fucking car salesman, and then to do the religious like this man. There is a special ring in hell for Mark Wahlberg, and I hate like just him knowing that probably gets him off because like, oh yeah, of course there is, dude, of course
there's a seat for me.
Yeah, what, you wicked smart? Of course I got my own VIP section in hell, bro. Think I beat those minorities for nothing? I
want to say, don't speak. I know what you're thinking, okay? And I don't want to hear any Danny, fucking Gwen Stefani slander.
You're gonna feel it hella good, Danny. You know, I hear Mark Wahlberg is really lovely underneath it all.
Underneath it all.
Do this all day.
Don't tempt us with the fucking. You saw it in that last video we did. We can if you bring up some kind of topical musical artist from the 90s, 80s, the aughts or whatever, Kevin and I will sit here and do a whole playlist of their songs for you. We'll do a whole joke playlist of their songs. You gotta holla back, girl.
Man, this stream is bananas, dude.
Stop. Okay, we gotta stop. There's been too many. There's too many. Oh, God, shut up.
I love all the scripture we're getting in chat too, by the way. That really warms my heart.
Oh, dear Lord. But Donald called it first, okay? Look at this. 2014, okay? 10 years ago. At Katy Perry. Katy, what the hell are you thinking? Why did you marry Russell Brand, okay? This guy's going nowhere. He's got nothing. He's wrong. What a waste.
Real low energy. What kind of a man relies on Jeffries?
What kind of man goes after 16-year-old girls? You know, I like them at least 18. You didn't see me on that island or on any flight logs, did you? It didn't happen. You won't see my name, okay? Maybe a couple redacteds, but no Donald Trump there.
How about those JFK files? We got JFK, we got aliens. Who knows where islands are? Is that what even is it? It's an old word, island, funny word. A lot of people weren't talking about islands until Jeffrey bought his. I mean, what's that? I'm up on the 18th hole. Sorry, I gotta play golf. Very good at golf.
This was the moment. This was what I was saying at the beginning when I was like, we've got one time in the show where we can drop a bunch of Trump impersonations, okay? We've got plenty to do here. Talking about my friend Katy Perry and how fucked up Russell Brand is, okay?
He's a real degenerate. I thought he wanted to play golf when he said, if there's grass on the field, play ball. He did not invite me to a golf outing, Danny.
Now, of course, I didn't deny any of his party favors. Okay, we did it. But I mean,
well, when you're famous like us, they want you to do it. Okay, they let you do it.
They tell you. Okay, actually, they don't even have to tell you. You could just grab them. Okay. Have we done too much?
Like a Trump steak fresh off the truck.
Trump Tower, okay? Come get a Trump steak at Trump Tower with Russell Brand, okay?
Come stroke the furry wall at Trump Tower.
I'm gonna pardon them both, okay? I'll pardon Diddy, I'll pardon Russell, and we'll get our own Get Him to the Greek Part 2 going on, okay? Starring yours truly.
We
Get me to the
confiscated.
Greek, okay?
We confiscated the baby oil. Okay, it's in Fort Knox with all the gold.
Our currency is not the U.S. currency now based on baby oil. Okay, we've got such a surplus.
We're on the oil standard.
I'm
Different
backing
oil,
it up.
different oil. OPEC. Okay. We are now
Oh,
on the
dear
Johnson
Lord,
and
dude.
Johnson. Do they make baby oil? I don't know.
Have we lost y'all yet? Okay.
Maybe it's just tearless shampoo. I love the tearless shampoo. Gotta get the tanner out of my eyes.
All right, folks. That's the show. Okay. We talked enough shit about Russell Brand. Oh, Rusty Rockets on Twitter. What kind of name is that, by the way? What does that mean? Something? I feel like that means something that I don't want to know. His Twitter handle is Rusty Rockets.
It sounds like something you'd find at the type of video store that I no longer think exists, you know, where you're like,
It's definitely, you look that up on Urban Dictionary and find something.
Rusty Rockets 9. What the hell is this?
Right next to Backdoor Sluts. No.
Yeah, right. Exactly. In the same genre section, Danny. I think we're
All right, so let's look at chat here before we get out. Again, we appreciate all you folks that are here listening, commenting, liking the stream, whatever you're doing, lurking. We love you. Okay. Thank you for being here.
You know, maybe leave a like.
It's the best channel to subscribe to. Okay. The only thing we have playing on the TVs at Trump Tower. It's constant Clout route. Okay. Even that one episode where they made fun of Trump Gaza, I still like it. They're good people.
Good, very good guys. I like these guys.
All right.
Very
Sleek was
smart.
here right after Pest at the #1 comment. Sleek was here. So thank you, Sleek. V-Dub, nice to see you today. Also, K-Huck, like I said, if you hadn't seen the K-Huck stream yet, go over to K-Huck Cast and check out me and Kevin talking some smack with K-Huck for about 3 whole hours. It was a late night endeavor. And I was drinking beers. You might like that.
Talking about lolcow. It's a good time, among other things. We dropped new Clout route lore. So, you know, some pieces of egg lore that you may never hear on this channel.
That's true.
Right
that's
there.
True.
K-Huck has the scoop. So
I was
that's
impressed
where you gotta go get it.
I was impressed by your encyclopedic knowledge of lolcow. You knew all the names. She was like naming off people, and I was like, "Who's this?" Kevin's like, "Oh yeah, that motherfucker."
Yeah, my regards to my geometry teacher. Turns out I found different uses for that space of my brain. So welcome aboard Lolcow Universe.
Who needs geography?
We're locked in. Yeah, who needs it?
I already know all the people on Lolcow are shaped like a circle.
I already know that I'm gonna go visit the uninhabited islands anyway.
Exactly.
I'll meet a new tribe.
So thank you, K-Huck. Let's see who else was here today. We've got plenty of folks in the chat. Hash, nice to see you, Hash. Appreciate you stopping in and chatting with us as per usual. Shadow was here talking some shit about his twin, Mr. Billy Mitchell. Is that me? Man, if Shadow is that old, how old is Billy Mitchell? That's an old man.
It's tough when those old
like
dudes start dyeing everything jet black and wearing fake hair. It's like, is this guy 80 or 64? I don't know.
I think Shadow was the clone of Billy Mitchell after he won the high score in Donkey Kong the first time. They were like, "Oh, we've got to preserve this these hand-eye coordination, these reflexes." Okay, so they cloned him, and that's Shadow humor. Now,
so you're saying Shadow is like the blade of Billy Mitchell. He has all of his strengths and none of his weaknesses.
Exactly. He can go out in the daylight. Unlike Billy Mitchell.
You can really see through the hair in the daytime for Billy. That's why he only goes out at night.
Harles was here. Nice to see you, Harles. Shadow, congrats on the lawsuit. The LOL suit, the LOL suit.
Lol. Ignorance of the lol is not an excuse. Shout out to Derek Savage.
V-Dub making fun of me for talking shit about the lefties that Ethan Klein's suing. Well,
They've
okay, like I
been
don't have a
turning up
problem.
that water on you, Danny, for a while now.
They just saw me do 10,000 Trump impressions, and now I'm about to say, guys, come on, okay, I'm a lefty. I'm sorry, okay?
Hey, I'm not fooling around.
How do I convince you, okay? Really?
I'm
I
still a
promise,
progressive
I'm a Democrat. Raging
Jack?
about the lefties. I'm just sorry. Some of them fucking suck, okay? Some of these bread tube, soy tube, fucking ding-dong losers, I just can't stand them. There is something about something that I don't vibe with this like purity. That's the purity thing. I mean, you hear people talk about it. It definitely is like a one of those trigger words or whatever, obviously. But I do think that there's something to it. Like, I talk too much shit to be such an angel all the time. Okay. Like sometimes I say some fucked up shit. It just is what it is. At least I don't say redacted all the time or the F slur or something, you know, I'm not that just because I don't use some certain words.
Danny, you're the future of the Democratic Party. I will tell you that as somebody who watches both sides vigilantly, like a mentally ill Batman cosplayer. I can tell you that if Democrats want to win, they got to be more like Danny over here. We need more vitriol.
I'll run for
we need
president.
more piss and
Let's
or
do it.
vinegar. All right. We need you can't take the high ground in this situation. You got to get down in the mud. You got to roll your sleeves up and hit a few people below the belt. You know what I'm saying? Just bah.
Sometimes you just got to call Donald Trump a big fat maggot.
That's right.
Not
We don't
the
like
other
bugs.
one.
Don't like crickets.
He won't
Don't
even
like
say it. He won't even say the word he wants to call me. What a pussy. What a bitch. He won't even say it. Say it. Come on, say it. No.
Yeah, the
won't do
Dems
it.
need to be just doing comedy specials right now. Like now is the time to just come for the throat and just be like, what a cuck, what an idiot. You saw what happened with the JD Vance memes. Like this is the way. This is
Right.
the way
Have you said-
forward for you.
Have you said
okay?
thank you today, Kevin?
Have you said thank you in the last hour? We did. Thank you. Like and
Thank you
subscribe.
all.
Thank you.
We appreciate
So
you very much.
Always be selling.
Bite Size Vikes was here. Need Kevin's Russell Brand impression on the next draft stream.
You know, it's been
I had to brush up on that British accent.
Yeah, I've trained so hard to not do British stuff out of respect for our illustrious cabinet here.
Yeah, of course.
For whom we do have several members of the British delegation. So I have really refrained from doing it, which I noticed today. Anytime I tried to tap in to Russell Brand mockery, I just felt like my British accent is very off. Okay, it's very low energy. Doesn't have the gusto. Dark woke. There it is. Yes.
Dark woke. That's
there it
me,
is.
baby.
Dark Brandon, Danny.
Dark
you
Brandon's
do
back. Where are my glasses? But yes, Kanga was here, of course. I think I said Harls, Bite Size Vikes, Kanga. Appreciate you, Kanga, for coming in and hanging out with us as per usual. I said Hash, I think. Maggot was here with the pedo 22, cuck 22, talking about Adam 22. Fuck that guy, right?
A lot of creeps today's episode.
Lots of creeps. It was a creep central episode.
I
Minus us, of course.
Next time we do this, Danny, we're gonna do a Tales of the Creep thing, and I'm gonna get the Crypt Keeper. Very, very up-to-date reference. But our audience, I think, will appreciate the nostalgia.
I do like that guy. They should bring him back. The Tales from the Crypt guy. He was.
God, can you imagine the stuff he probably did?
He's
though?
a looker.
Can you imagine that guy's been around for 100 years? There's definitely some allegations.
Right. That's why they keep him in that crypt.
Right. He misses the days of the Pony Express when a fella didn't have to deal with all of this transparency.
Mm-hmm. He does miss the. We're gonna have to lock Vosh in a crypt too. the pony thing, yeah. Babs was here. Thank you, Babs Barbarella, my friend. Advent was here.
That's right.
There's no rebirth for those who prey on innocence. Hit him with that Buddhist.
You hear that, Mark Wahlberg?
I like that. Thank you, Advent. Nice to see you today. And thank you, Marky Mark. You know, that's like half the show's jokes today. I mean,
Yeah, thank you.
At his expense. I like that.
Thank you for the good vibrations, Mark.
Oh, listen to him. Clout campaign 2028. Clout pain. Dems need to be meaner, dark woke. Okay. I'm ready to get down. Okay. I'm ready to fucking call people bad names and make fun of their appearance and look, not only their politics, but everything. Like, I will get down in the dirt. Okay. I will crawl on my hands and knees to fight. Okay. Fight. Okay. You try to shoot me in the ear, I will dodge that bullet. Then I'll call you a fucking, what a dumb piece of shit. You can't even shoot a gun. Loser. You had a whole scope aimed on my fucking head for like 10 minutes. You couldn't get the job done. Come on, dude. What a fuck.
The one time CNN is covering a rally? That's weird, right? Isn't that weird? The one time they were there. I don't know.
All right, folks. Well, like I said, we appreciate
I'm a terrible swimmer.
You. Kevin is a terrible swimmer.
It's been real, gang.
We will catch you next Sunday. We don't have any special guest appearances this week, so it'll probably be Sunday before you see us all again. Maybe I'll pop up on a short for you or something. I don't know. But yes, I will be talking to Kevin in the background. We will be getting together this washed up actor, comedian, whatever it's going to be, video for you to watch by the end of the month. But until then, we'll catch you on the flip side. Appreciate you. Deuces, folks. Bye-bye.